Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. It is Monday morning. It's the day that more Celtic players will start coming back to Lennoxtown. And with that, there'll be players that don't come back. Yes, there was a lot of noise last week. And in this video, before we go on, in this video, we're going to be talking about James Forrest, Rocco Vasa, a young player reportedly Celtic are looking at for £800,000 from South America, and the Matt O'Reilly speculation and why I think he will never be going to Southampton. We'll get all that in this video. Anyway, first up is James Forrest. I think when the excitement of last season, and how on form James Forrest was, I think to get taken away to the Euros, picked for the Scotland team, it's kind of at the last minute, and taken away to the Euros and having to sit your arse on the bench for 3 games, it's an unfortunate way to end your Scotland career. Because let's face it, that's James Forrest at international level done and dusted. I don't think he'll see any more international games or caps. And I think that the Scotland manager, we needed pace on the wings and we never used them. And I think it's been a complete anticlimax for James Forrest, and I kind of feel sorry for him. I'm glad he's over in Ibiza having a whale of a time the last week. But when you look at James Forrest and what he did for Celtic towards the end of the season, he grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. He made sure that he got past defenders. He had shots on goal. You know, he did what James Forrest can do in games. But Steve Clarke never used him. Never used him at all, as well as Greg Taylor. But, I mean, you're not expecting Greg Taylor to get much time, but you're thinking James Forrest can have an impact on games. And it was something that was severely missing. And I did watch the 2 games last night. I thought England were woeful. And I've got to say this to all those, and I see a lot of this in Irish pubs. You get a lot of Irish that support English teams, and then when they play England, they hate the English. I just don't get that. And if you think that Matt O'Reilly is going to go down to Southampton, I'm going to speak about that in just a minute, because he's not. And it's not the best league in the world. The best league in the world for me is Spain. Spain's showing you, that young Spanish team showing you how to play football last night. And they are a football team. They are a football nation. None of this shite that we're the best. That's fucking like Rangers saying we're the best team in the world, most successful. Anyway, let's get on to some transfer speculation this morning. Rocco Vata. Now, I want to put this to bed because the whole Rocco Vata situation is all headline grabbing. We did a video a couple of weeks ago and said that Rocco Vata's out of contract. He's not a Celtic player. Celtic will get some form of compensation, but they're not going to get anywhere near the 3 million that has been quoted in some quarters. They'll get a form of compensation because they basically helped bring him through the youth system over the last couple of years. He is out of contract. He is not at Celtic Park today or last week because he is out of contract. And that's the reason that he wasn't seen anywhere. So let's put all the nonsense to bed. There's a lot of nonsense yesterday that he's going to go to Watford, and who cares? It's done and dusted. That's it. It's the end of. It's like the Gumphrey Greek. We'll never speak about him again. Anyway, moving on to South America. There's a lot of speculation going on in South America that Celtic need to pay around about 800 grand for a Copa America star, a young guy from Costa Rica. They know how to dance, and they know how to party as well in Costa Rica. The Celtic are looking at the young player who's looking to make a move to Europe. This is the type of player that Celtic should be getting in and into the youth system, because it's the kind of player that ultimately wants to end up in Spain and playing at a higher league and playing at a higher level. And you can get good money off the Spanish clubs, believe it or not. And I think that Celtic need to be making, and they have been, and over the last few weeks, over the summer, they have made a lot of players extend their contracts that are in the academy, which is all good. And you can see where the club are trying to focus. I think gone are the days, and we spoke about it before, gone are the days where we're going to bring in prospects that are over 21 or 21 and over. I think we need to bring them in a little bit younger, just bite the bullet and get them in. If you're spending 800 grand, you're going to get 2 million for them. If they're not good enough within a year or so, you're going to punt them on for a couple of million. But I think Celtic moving down the road of trying to get in a young Costa Rican guy can only be good for the young team. And if you can make an impact into the first team, it would be even better. Celtic are looking to make a number of signings, and they're looking to be a number of players that will leave the club. Obviously, first out has been said Haksabanovic. He has left already, departing for Malmo. O, Gustav Lagerbielke, and O has been in talks with a Belgian team, and it's said that he's already agreed wages. But are Celtic holding off? Are Celtic holding off until they get a striker in? It would be prudent of the club to do so. But it'd be unfortunate for the player if the deal then fell dead and he didn't get the move after agreeing wages. Something that Gustav Lagerbielke did last transfer window. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with those two players over the next couple of weeks. I am expecting a good few players to be sold on to reduce the size of the squad. The club need to get this whole Paulo Bernardo situation, they need to make it clear what's happening already. And the Adamida one, just throw the money at it. If that's the player that you want, throw the money at it. If not, getting the guy for Aberdeen, people are saying. Getting the guy for Aberdeen, he knows how to score goals. But at the end of the day, I think things will start to heat up this week as more players come back and as the Euros start to come to a conclusion. Anyway, there was a lot of speculation last night, a lot of rumours around a Celtic player. And one player in particular that Celtic rate very highly. And it was Southampton. And Southampton have said that they're going to, well, it's been rumoured that they're going to come in with an offer of 20 million. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, didn't Celtic turn down 18 million plus add-ons from Atletico Madrid for Matt O'Reilly? Now, if you're weighing up going to Southampton, and this is where it's going to annoy people, because this bullshit that is the best league in the world, it's not. If you've seen how England played last night, they're not the best players in the world. They scraped through with a last-minute equaliser to then go on and obviously get the win. But they weren't at the races last night at all. They couldn't. For me, that is a team that's got a lucky draw through to the final. And if you seriously think that that is the best league in the world down south, there's something far wrong with you. And people will say that there's a lot of push games in the English Premiership. And for me, if you look at the way that Spain played last night, Spain played football for the very start, and they've got a young team. Now that's nonsense that Southgate's got a young team. It's bullshit. Spain's got an even younger team. I was rooting for that young guy to score a goal last night. He could have created history and being the youngest ever player to score a goal in the Euros. They have a team that are going to dominate European football again over the next couple of years. If they don't win it this time, if they don't win the Euros this time, they will be there and thereabout the next time, and at the World Cup. They are a team that you need to be watching over the next couple of years. They play fantastic football, and it's none of this boring side-to-side crap either. But anyway, Matt O'Reilly, if you seriously think that Celtic are now going to sell Matt O'Reilly for 20 million plus add-ons, you've got another thing coming. If I was Matt O'Reilly, I'd say, wait a minute, and get back on the phone to Atletico Madrid. That's the team that they play good football. They play in a good league. They play in a high standard, and it's got a lot better weather. Although Madrid in the winter, it's bloody freezing. Yeah, it is. It's freezing. It's really cold. It's really cold. Right in the centre of the country, it gets really not obviously like -10 stuff, but they do. Man, a couple of years ago, they got really bad snow in Madrid, and it buckled the whole city. Buckled the whole city of Madrid. But anyway, if I was Matt O'Reilly, I would be saying, look. Hold the bus, mate. I'm not going down to Southampton when I had the chance to go to Atletico Madrid. That's what I would be saying to my agent. Not a frigging chance. I've already been down on the South Coast, and if he's going to go to the South Coast, it's going to be a London club, and it's going to be someone a lot higher up the league than what Southampton will probably be. But if you think that Matt O'Reilly is going to be sold for 20 million, it's another rubbish story. And I think it was just a lot of speculation that came out last night. And I noticed that the Daily Rangers has grabbed onto the story. Celtic braced. It's hardly a headline breaking out. Celtic braced for Matt O'Reilly transfer bid that would smash the record fee as Southampton prepare a 20 million offer. Didn't we sell Kieran Tierney for more than 20 million? Didn't we sell Jota for 25 million? Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. The English Premier League new boys could set to bid around 20 million plus feature add-ons if they hit certain targets. No, that's not how it happens at Celtic. And you're not getting to get add-ons. You can get add-ons if you stay if you're going down to the first division and you go into the Premiership, things like that. But when it comes to Matt O'Reilly, Celtic are wanting in the region of over 25 million, and they'll stick to that. They're not going to sit and go, yeah, you can get them for 20. And if I like I say, if I was Matt O'Reilly, I would tell Southampton to go and sling it. To be honest, now there is one scenario. There is one scenario that is troubling me at the back of my mind that might happen this summer. And you could just see it. You could see this happening because it is the Celtic way, isn't it? It is the Celtic way for this type of deal to happen. So we sell Matt O'Reilly. Okay, we do sell Matt O'Reilly. And we bring in another player that's Scottish. We bring in another player that's Scottish. And we bring him in because he's on a free transfer. And you could just see Celtic going down this road. And I'm talking about the one and only player that played for Celtic before. He is from Inverness. He can play in midfield and central midfield. He can play in the left and right midfield. And it's Stuart Armstrong, who's currently without a club after being released by Southampton. He didn't agree a contract or something. But anyway, you could see the player that we bought from Dundee United a good few years back in 2015. You could see him, and you could just... It gives me the fear. It actually gives me the fear this morning because I think that if that type of thing was to happen, Celtic fans are going to be up in arms. And no matter what happens this summer, Celtic do need to go out and spend some decent money on... I mean, what positions realistically are we looking to fill? We know we need a goalkeeper, and there's every chance we might need two goalkeepers, depending on what they do with the young Toby. I think young Toby should be the number 3 goalkeeper, personally. We need a left back. We all know that we need a left back, and we need to get someone in that is a bit better than Greg Taylor, let's be honest. But then we also need a striker. And if Adam Ida isn't the one that would get over the line, we need to get in someone quick. Because even John Kennedy last week was speaking about the fact that, look, we want players in during pre-season. Everything that he said about pre-season, this is when you do the hardest work. This is when you prepare the players for the mindset that they're going to have at the end of the season. And I just hope that we're not kicking around at the end of the transfer window and then somebody comes in with an offer for Matt O'Reilly and Celtic go, do you know what, we're just going to sell him because... will maximise the profits, and then in comes Stuart Armstrong. What a letdown that would be. What a big letdown. Devastating. Anyway, on that note, I hope you have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. Tell me what you thought about the games last night, if you watched the games at all. Do you really think that England is the best league in the world? Financially doped? Man City, they've got more charges against them than... How are they even getting away with it? How are they even getting away with it? Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.